thank you for coming out this afternoon. I'm Violet Haldane, Executive Director of Advocacy to Legacy, and this is the annual report out of our students and the work they've done, the accomplishments they've had. So today we are going to introduce you to the staff that have been working with the students and also the students. So again, thank you for coming, and I'm going to start off with Mr. J.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I don't know if I need this. Can you hear me?
You need the mic.
Okay. I need the mic. Okay. I am Mr. J, Program Coordinator for Advocacy to Legacy. I joined in November, and it has been such an honor to understand and learn more about civic literacy and advocacy through the young people and the work that they do, and just understanding our power on a grassroots level. So honored to be here, honored to see all of you, and I will pass this over to Miss Bongi. Y'all give it up for Miss Bongi. Give it up for Miss Bongi.
Hi, as you heard, I'm Miss B, but my real name is Sabongile Makabane, and everybody calls me Bongi. I am the advocacy specialist for the students, and I help them with all of their research because, as you will see, they're very focused. They have the data to validate everything that they're talking about, so that's the work that I do. Miss B. Oh, Miss Archer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming. I'm the business manager for the Advocacy to Legacy under Miss Violet Haldane, and I've been with her quite a number of years, and she seems to think that I'm her right hand and also her left hand. But it's been a pleasure for me to work with my students here, past ones and present ones, and they've accomplished a lot this year. And a few of them will be going off to Harvard for the summer and other colleges in Cornell for the summer. And we want to wish them well, and thank you again for coming.
I'm putting her on the spot. You just want to say what you've been helping me with?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Mesquita. I'm a parent and also a part of the organization. I've been working with renters' rights, legacy building workshop that we had at Hartford Public Library this past weekend. And the next workshop, which is coming, is on June 28th, which is entitled Veterans Benefits. I came to Legacy through Ms. Haldane, first for my children, because I saw this organization in our community with people who looked like me and looked like my children, and wanted them to see that, and the fact that, you know, you see big corporations, you see big organizations, but very rare do you see organizations that truly care on different levels for students. And so it gives me shivers when I think of this. And so I thank Ms. Haldane and everyone who's involved, because our children need this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So you see, we've got a great staff. They love the kids. They treat them as their own. And not only are we teaching them advocacy, but we're teaching them life skills and character building. So I am going to turn the program over to the students now, and they will introduce themselves.
Good evening. I am Jessica Marks. I am 18. I attend the University of Hartford. I just finished my first year of university. I am going into my second year, and my hopes for over this summer and for the fall is to be the best leader I can.
Hello, my name is Lindsay. I'm 17 years old. I attend Achievement First Hartford High School, and in the summer, I will attend Harvard Pre-College Program to study law, and in the fall, I'll become a senior.
Hello, my name is Ngozi. I'm 16 years old. I attend Achievement First Hartford High School. In the summertime, I will be attending Harvard Pre-College to study constitutional law, and in the fall, I will be a senior at Achievement First.
Good evening. My name is Victoria White. I just graduated from Walkinson School. I'm 17 years old, and in the summer, I will study at Cornell for engineering, and in the fall, I'll be be a freshman in college, studying towards being a project manager for sustainable engineering.
Hello, my name is Manetta. I'm 16 years old. I'm a current sophomore in high school, and I'm going to be a junior this upcoming fall, and my goal is to study and pursue music in the future.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shamir Mills. I am happy to see a lot of familiar faces, and I hope you all remember me from last year. Thank you.
So our mission in Advocacy to Legacy is to educate families, communities, and individuals on how to advocate for themselves, to change lives, and to leave a legacy. So from here on, you're going to be hearing from us about the missions that we had throughout the year. And to start off, we are going to have First Friday with Lindsay.
Hello, my name is Lindsay, and I'll be here to talk about First Fridays. First Fridays is an event to remember how Advocacy to Legacy started. First Friday is held every first Friday of the month at the Albany Branch Library, and the event operates at 12:30 to 2:30 after the students leave from school. We have students from elementary to high schoolers, and we ask them questions to learn how they think. Specifically, we ask them questions about whether they feel safe or affected in their communities. This is a way to collect data to whether or not we readjust our future works, advocate for themselves, and help with our programs move forward as young people are a part of the legacy. Afterwards, we give the students pizzas and a beverage of their choice. Finally, on average, we have at least 45 or more students at our events. On the next slide, we picked the specific questions. What do you think Kinney Park should have and why? The bigger the words, the most frequent answered among the students. For instance, the most frequent response was water fountains, first aid kits, and then baseball swings, baseball fields, separate playgrounds for kids, water parks, basketball courts, playgrounds, slides, and grass. And thank you.
Wonderful, Lindsay. Next, we have Proximity with Ngozi.
Hello, my name is Ngozi Hibbert, and I'm going to be talking about the proximity law. So, the proximity law is essentially the law that decides how far you can sell tobacco products from a K through 12 school. And to kill two birds with one stone, we decided to advocate that the proximity law be tied to each town's alcohol policy. So to learn more about the proximity law, we had to deliberately research on tobacco and its effects on communities. From there, we made testimonies that explain why it's important to have this law in place to ensure that we're protecting the communities in Hartford and in Connecticut. We took those testimonies and we brought them to the legislative office, and while we were at the legislative office, we spoke to the representatives and the senators and all that to talk about why it's important to have the proximity law in place. Even though the proximity law didn't get through this session, we will be going further to go make sure it's statewide because it is passed in Hartford because of Advocacy to Legacy. might I add. And we learned that tobacco has negative impacts on teens' physical and mental health. We learned that urban communities are at risk because tobacco is extremely accessible in those communities. We learned that if we continue being so casual about tobacco use, it will become more normalized among the youth, and that will be detrimental to their health. And we also learned that the advertising, which is like the store density, is very high in school areas, which can impact how attractive tobacco is to the youth. In this slide, you can see us at the legislative building on March 10th when we were advocating for proximity law and other projects. This is me, and this is Lindsay, and this is Ms. V. Thank you.
Okay, Ngozi. Okay, next we have Driving to Opportunity, Part 1, Fines and Fees with Victoria.
So Advocacy to Legacy decided to focus on one of the key factors to independence and mobility, which is driving to opportunity. This is Part 1, Fines and Fees. We focused on debt-based driver's license suspension, which is the suspension of a person's driver's license for failure to pay or failure to appear in court. These suspensions are not for moving violations. They're not for infractions that relate to road safety, which suggests that they're not punishing people for breaking the law or for doing something that's harmful on the road, but punishing people for being poor. 389,000 active driver license suspensions were given in Connecticut based on 2022 data. Failure to appear and failure to pay were the leading causes of driver suspensions. And most of these suspensions are in communities like Hartford or just communities that are predominantly Black and Hispanic, which suggests that certain areas are being targeted, certain areas that cannot afford to be targeted. I know my family have sometimes been threatened by DMV that they're going to lose we're going to lose our driver suspension, and that's very dangerous because without a car, many families cannot provide for their children. They can't get groceries. It's like going to a race and trying to cross the finish line with your legs tied together. So to push against this injustice, number one, we spread the word. We collected signatures. We created an infographic that we spread to different parts of the community, like the Arts Collective or whatever event we went to, like the infographics over there. We created a bill. It used to be HB 7161, but was merged with another bill, HB 7060, where we proposed a payment plan, and we wanted separate offenses for failure to pay and failure to appear because they're two distinct things. And we want to use existing test for indigence, which is extreme poverty, before suspending a license, so that we're not putting someone in a hole they cannot crawl back out of, which was the proposed legislative changes. Number 3, we did our testimony at the legislative office, as was seen before, for proximity law with Ngozi, and we advocated for what we believed in. So this is the bill. First, we were unsuccessful. Last year, we had to readjust and change the angle that we approached things, but with continued drive and momentum, the bill has passed this week. Despite it being passed, we will not relax until we see active changes within our community, because that's what we're here for, to see a legacy that we can leave behind for our children. Thank you.
Okay, Victoria. Congratulations on graduating again. Next we have Driving to Opportunity Part 2, Driver's Education with Minetta.
So this is Drivers to Opportunity Part 2, Driver's Education, also known as Driver's Ed. And what is driver's education? Driver's education is the knowledge to driving and controlling the car on the road and the information on the road rules. And what is our mission in this? Our mission is to educate 11th and 12th graders, which are juniors and seniors, in the schools and about driving. So why is this important? First off, it's important because it allows you to get a learner's permit more efficiently. And to get a learner's permit more efficiently, you have to pass a test. And it's the first step to driving the car. It's the first core step to actually being in a car and controlling the brakes and controlling everything about it. And it's also the first step to getting on a road, which is a very important part. It's a very important part for practice and also in the future. And it teaches you the rules of safety and makes people feel more secure and safe on the road, which is what we also need. We need confidence to go on a road. We need the ground set rules that we practice, and we need what to do when we see certain stop signs, or just signs in general on the road, and what we should do for traffic lights and stuff. And another reason why it's important is because it offers opportunities for teenagers, not just adults, but teenagers to be more independent and turn into adults and mature more so they don't have to rely on their parents or guardians no more to drive in. And it's also a very crucial time because later on in life they have college, they have work, and in order to get more job opportunities, they would need a driver's license. And some of the barriers towards this is the cost. Most families can't afford to pay $1,000 just for a driver's education because they already have to pay for providing their kids with stuff. They already have to pay with their own car bills. So it gets really hard when it's the bills that high for education. And another reason is the time. The time is teenagers have a lot on their plate. They have to take care of their families. They have to provide for their families. They have to do homework. They have to do more types of work. And a lot of kids, we really don't know how time is limited for them, which also leads to another barrier, location. It does take a long time to go to a driver's ed class for location. It can sometimes even be closed. There's not much time available for driver's education for them, and they don't even have time to travel a lot of miles, more than an hour, just to go to driver's education, which is why we should do it in schools where there's time for them, where there's time and where there's also the affordability as well. So, next slide. So what we did is we went to Weaver High School on April 1st, 2025, and we did survey some students who are particularly in that age group, 11th and 12th. We've asked them questions, we gave them information on driver's ed, we even had them play a game which made them understand the flow of driving a bit more. It made them understand what to do on the road. It made them understand a lot of things, and it also brought competition and drive and motive, and it even intrigued the students here. And that's what we want. We want to encourage more students to be intrigued by this information. We want them to be able to access this information because it will be important, and it is pretty limited in Connecticut. Not a lot of kids are able to get driver's education, which is why people fail tests a lot. So we want to make sure that we do this for our community so that they can have the strength and independence that they need. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minetta. Next, we have walk audits with the one-man army, Shamir.
Give it up for my colleagues one more time. Okay. A walk audit is a neighborhood walk that assesses a community environment for pedestrians and drivers. It involves a group of people which are state representatives, just like the government basically. right? What we do is, an organization, I'm gonna say, what we do is we go around certain areas that we think need improvement, and we observe and document what needs improvement and what's good on the streets. Some of the things that we document and observe are the conditions of the streets, sidewalks, and surrounding environments. The goal of a walk audit is to identify areas that is safe, compatible, and comfortable, as well as areas that need improvement. How many of y'all live by Broad and Park Street? Yeah, okay. So Broad and Park Street, that during one of our walk audits, I noticed there was a lot of problems. That was the pedestrians signals, sign signals, which are the things you press when you're trying to cross the street. So during our walk audits, we counted how long it takes, and in that local area, it takes a while, which is a problem, because if something, in the case of emergency or somebody's lost and they have to get somewhere, it's going to be difficult because you have to wait for cars. And a lot of people, that cause a lot of accidents because that make people jaywalk. Also, okay, next, okay. Some of the things that we observed is accessibility, which are streets, sidewalks, roads, and bus stops, safety, and places for improvements. For example, some things for streets are, is the streets wide enough, is it comfortable, and is it accessible to people who are elderly or has disabilities? And for the sidewalks, the problem with the sidewalks that continues to equal to streets are that sometimes the sidewalks are either too close to the streets where we're trying to either cross the street or wait for the bus. It's hard because the cars be flying because of traffic. Roads, some of the problems with roads that cause a lot of accidents nowadays are potholes. And a lot of people don't notice that because everybody has a day-to-day life job and gotta take care of business. So the problem with bus stops, time to time, are there's not enough ramps for people with disabilities or people who have elderly. Some of the problems that I notice about bus stops are the safety problem with bus stops are that the bus stops will not ever have enough space to pick someone up because of parking spots being in front of the bus. So that causes people to step in front of the street, which can be dangerous at times. Safety, some of the things about safety that I notice and a lot of people don't notice is that sidewalks do be rise because of soil or tree roots. Because I'm parking Broad and Park Street, the sidewalks was risen higher than normal because the tree was coming up, basically. And another problem that we think needed improvements is on Broad and Park again, because the signs of the streets are covered with graffiti, which is a big problem in our community because it can cause a lot of accidents, as if someone was lost and they needed to be picked up, they couldn't tell you where they would be at because the signs are covered. A lot of traffic lights are damaged on that street also, and yeah. Another thing is, I just want to add on roads, which is cracks, pavements, and surfaces are damaged. Traffic flow is dangerous, and crosswalks and markings. Basically, in markings is there's not enough bikes surrounding marking areas for people that ride bikes, which they'll make them ride on sidewalks, which is also dangerous because of other things I previously said, which is rising up, which can cause an accident. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and that's a photo of a flyer that we'll do for walk audits. Okay, so first off, y'all did amazing. Okay, so this is about community engagement. So with Advocacy to Legacy, we do community engagement. We separate it into three categories: community engagement, civic engagement, and advocacy work. So with community engagements, we have places like Keeney Park. Over the summer of 2024, we were at Keeney Park and we pretty much had our little booth, our tent, and we collected signatures for our missions like proximity and our two driving to opportunities. So that was something we did. We also did bike giveaways, and stay tuned, you're going to hear more about that in a little bit. So we gave away bikes during our event at Keeney Park. Another thing that we did for our civic engagement is our media appearances. Like, for example, as you heard earlier, we were at Weaver and we talked to the other children about driver's education. And myself and Shamir, we did a podcast as well. So we have those community engagements. Next, we had our civic engagements. So one thing with our civic engagements is there's an organization called Hartford Decides. So with Hartford Decide, they are a organization that was given $100,000 that they can use on the city of Hartford. The thing is with them is they have 10 different ideas that they have that they want to use that money on, and pretty much they allow the community to vote on those events. So in relations to First Friday, around last First Friday, Hartford Decide pretty much came and they had any children that was of the appropriate age of 10, you have to be 10 and up to vote, to pretty much vote on those ideas to see which one they mostly wanted to see happen with that $10,000. And with that, for our civic engagement, we also had mock voting around election times. And also, with civic events, we also had we went to the legislative building. That is a civic event. So next, after civic, we have our advocacy work. We did advocacy work, for example, myself and Miss Violetta over the summer of 2024. We went and we talked about third-hand smoke with some students at Blue Hills Civic. It was a very fun event. We talked about third-hand smoke, and we also read a PSA script to them and let them vote on it, as well as we gave them the opportunity to write their own script. So along with that, we have, place your butts. So this is a receptacle. I'm going to tell you it now because it's a likelihood I may forget what it's called again. So the city of Hartford, they pretty much wanted to help with the littering of cigarette butts in certain areas. So this is like a pilot where, first off, you had to be 21 to do this, because you have to be 21 to buy a cigarette. So Ms. V and other volunteers pretty much counted the amount of cigarette butts that were littered in 3 areas. And pretty much after that, the city of Hartford installed these receptacles. And after about a month, Ms. V and her volunteers went back, counted the amount, and found a 30% decrease. Drastic change. So the improvement showed that it was in fact working. It was slow, but then again, it was only after a month. Those cigarette butts before could have been there for years. But it was very good improvement. So yeah, that's something that we did for civic work. Now you could go to the next slide. So remember when I said, listen out for more bicycle opportunities? We have Move, Come to Move. This is a free community event. It is tomorrow, as in June 7th, as in less than 24 hours from now. I'm so sorry, I had to do the math in my head. So this is at 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Please come. there's going to be anything involving movement, it's about move. So we're pretty much, if you walk, if you drive, if you ride a bicycle, come. This is all for you. And for pretty much, as long as you can walk, it's for you. So it's going to have live music. We're going to have our lovely people over there to perform live music. And then we'll also have a DJ who's related to our lovely Miss Archer. And then we're going to have food. Like if y'all like the food here, y'all going to love the food there too. And then there's going to be the bicycle giveaway, other type of giveaways, other vendors talking about what they do and their organizations, as well as we'll have a driving simulator and other fun events. So please show up at the Swift Factory, 10 Love Lane, at Hartford. Please show up. All right. Yep.
Thank you. So that's the presentations from the students. Great job, guys. That's what they've been working on. It's a lot of work that they've done in essentially 9 months, because we start up around October and they work through the school year. They meet twice a week. Sometimes they have to work on the events, but that's their accomplishments. And I just, like passing a state law, I don't think they realize how big that is for high schoolers to have initiated it and led it. It took us 2 years, which I hear that normally takes about 3 years, but we had it done in 2 years. And the thing that I was most proud of with that is when we went back this year, the chair of the Transportation Committee said that she tells everyone about Advocacy to Legacy because it's the first time they have given feedback, and when the people came back the second year, they had made adjustments based on what they had heard. So I just felt really proud that it was acknowledged by the legislative that people do listen and they do learn. And I'm just so proud of these young students and all they've accomplished. So we have, thank you guys. So we have a guest, Senator Doug McCauley's here. And we'd like for him to say a couple words. Excuse me? Senator Douglas McCauley. And I would like for him to say a couple words. And we do have something for the students from the legislative body and the city of Hartford. And so we'll have him do the honors.
Oh boy, clearly I didn't come prepared, but I'm glad I'm here. Congratulations to all of you for all the work you've done. And before I even say another word, congratulations to Ms. Violette for all the work you have been doing, especially for our young people. Over the years, I don't know how many years we've been doing this, but you've been doing an outstanding job. And every time I come out to see one of these presentations, I learn something. And I'm glad the work you have done. It's funny because the chair of the Transportation Committee, she's a friend of mine. And she did mention to me, she said, did I know the organization Advocacy? I said, absolutely, I know who they are. And she mentioned the work that you guys did to actually getting a law passed, because we know this law prevents us from, staying on board and doing the things we do, suspending our license for stuff that beyond our control. So thank you for all the work you've done. Congratulations to all the work you're going to do. I am State Senator Douglas McCauley. I represent Hartford, Bloomfield, and Windsor. So that's who I am. And we have some citations for each and every last one of you. And I'd like to read the citation. I think they say the same, so I'm going to read one of them. And then when we call your name, you can just come up and be presented with your citation, okay? And keep on doing the great work you're doing. And continue to uplift our communities. Great job. It reads, State of Connecticut General Assembly, official citation introduced by all the representatives from the city of Hartford. That includes Joshua Hall, Matt Ritter, Minnie Gonzalez, Julio Concepcion, Jimmy Sanchez, Senator Fonfara, Representative Khan, and myself. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers serious congratulations to, and has your name, in recognition of this Advocacy to Legacy student leaders for their exemplary civic engagement, policy advocacy, and youth leadership during the 2024-25 program year. They have advanced equity across our state by leading public education on the third-hand smoking, advocacy for statewide tobacco-free zones near schools, and champion reforms to end debt-based driver's license suspension. They promote youth mobility, housing justice, and financial literacy while empowering peers through civic action and walk-in audits. The bold strategic efforts have strengthened our community and influenced statewide policy. We proudly honor their vision, their dedication, and more, the impact they had on the state of Connecticut. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorial occasion, giving on the 6th day of June here at the state capitol, signed by President Pro Tem Martin Luther, the Secretary of State, Stephanie Thompson. Thank you once again, and congratulations, young people, for being great role models, not just role models, real models for adults and for your peers.
Thank you. So we do have one of these citations for each student, and we also did get one from the City of Hartford, Court of Common Council, and I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read it.
We read it. You also, for the city, recognize you, and it says City of Hartford Court of Common Council official citation given in recognition of your name on this day, June 6, 2025. Hartford Court of Common Council celebrates your work as an advocacy to legacy youth leaders. Your work towards improving our city infrastructure, promoting safe driving habits in Greater Hartford, and educating the community about the differential effects of tobacco has enriched the lives of many. In addition, your work raises awareness of home ownership possibilities and tenants' rights, while serving as a mentor to other youth in our city, and ensures all generations have the empowerment, knowledge, and resources to accomplish their dreams. Your unwavering commitment to conducting research, gathering community input, wow, all these great things you're doing. This is really community engagement, and being a voice for our family and friends and neighbors will endure and lasting positive effects on the City of Hartford. Hereby, the Hartford Court of Common Council looks forward to your continued commitment to transforming advocacy in our city. We thank you for your tireless efforts and unwavering dedication to making our community a better place. Signed by Council President, I hope you know who this person is, Shirley Surgeon. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'll just call you guys up, and each person can come and get theirs. And can someone take a picture?
Photo op. Who got the camera?
Who's got the camera?
I want to make sure I get a picture of these.
First person is Manetta. Yeah, you guys hold it. Oh, she's getting the picture. Thank you. That's yours.
It's yours.
Lindsay? You got the picture? Wait. She's got to get the picture. Thank you. Shamir? Victoria? Jessica? I didn't even have to look. So thank you. You guys really worked hard. I know that sometimes it's been a bit difficult, but all the hard work has paid off, and we really appreciate it. So I just want to acknowledge Senator McCauley. When Advocacy to Legacy first started, he was the first person that provided funding for the organization. And so I just want to acknowledge that. And then another celebration. Today, Victoria graduated from high school, and she's so committed to us that her graduation was this morning, and she's here this afternoon, so we have a little gift for you, a token of our appreciation to celebrate your big day. Thank you. Can someone take a picture? She's our only graduating senior this year. Thank you. And to show how dedicated our staff is, we don't have a present, but today's Miss Bongi's birthday. And she's working. So that concludes our program. I really appreciate you guys coming out. I know it's a nice, hot summer day. There's lots of food. There are to-go containers, and the students will be here if you want to stand, come and talk to them, and just see what their thoughts are and what else they want to be doing. And we'll be here for a little while, but we appreciate you coming out to our program today. Thank you.